Ready, and then we can begin. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to your Pilates session for today. And we're going through the intermediate Pilates mat, maybe with or without a pet to assist you. And of course, if you're lucky, you have someone on the mat with you, right? So let's start sitting up, and then we'll begin to roll back. Take your hands behind your legs, and then curl the tail up, look down, roll your spine down, imprinting it down. We're going right into hundreds today. Chin to chest. Once you're on the tip of the shoulder blades, the rib cage grounded here, the head up. You can use your hands to pull yourself up a little wide here. Elbows go wide, look down at the belly, and then extend the legs up to your working level. You should feel your belly, but not your back, and then press the arms at your side. Start pumping the arms here, inhaling and exhaling. It's a deep breath in, and then a long breath out. Try to really be sure that your hips are square to your chest, so you came down in a good alignment, and the fingers reach long across the room. If your neck needs an assistance, you can take your one hand behind your head and pump with the other arm, and then switch periodically. Or of course, you can always lay down, keep pumping the arms, and lift the legs a little higher to stay out of your back. If hamstrings are tight, you're certainly welcome to bend the knees slightly. Feel that work into your abs. Or as you start to warm up, if you feel like you can take the legs lower and longer, keep reaching through them until you feel your low abs really engaged without flattening your upper body to the ground. Let's go for one more breath. The exhales longer than the inhales if possible. And then let's fold the legs in, lay your head down, and here we'll move into your roll-up. Option to use a TheraBand around your feet, holding it with your hands. Otherwise, just lay back. We lift the arms up to the ceiling, engage the blades into the mat, and then reach the arms back. Take a stretch without overarching the rib cage. Next, lift the arms up, shoulders settle, lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale, pull off the ground, dive over. As you round over your legs, you can suck the belly back into the spinal curve. Take a dive here, feel the stretch in the back of your legs and your low back, without too much stretch going into the back of your knee. You want to be sure that your body's always comfortable with what you're doing. Even if it's a little bit of a push for you, you should never feel nervous or anxious about the position you're getting yourself into. And then lift to come up. Shoulders melt behind you as you rise. So the head pulls up, the neck lengthens because of the reach of the halo and the melting of the blades down your body. Dive forward. Tight hamstring people will bend their knees a little bit here, so that they get more of the stretch in the belly of the hamstring at the back of their thigh, and then rolling it back. Lengthen out through your legs. Try to imagine your heels like anchors digging into the ground and stretch away from that. Reach long and out behind you, and let's do one more. Use your exhale before you pick the ribs off the ground. That helps you rise. It helps you engage the core, and then you bend forward. So you're not really laying yourself flat down on your legs. We still have a little bit of a lift and a rounded back here, as if you're coming over a ball. And then think of that ball rolling up the front of your body. Your tail will rise as you go down over the sacrum, over the hips, over the waist, then the tail flattens as you get down to the ribs. You stretch the arms back. Enjoy that length that feel like you're opening yourself up to the ceiling. And then you can circle the arms around at your side. Next, we go into the single leg circles. You can again use a TheraBand around the foot or not. Let's start with the right leg, bend it in, band the foot if you're using the band, lift the foot up to the ceiling. That foot's in a soft point, the one on the ground is flexed. And we reach the leg over, keep the torso steady, the hip is down, and you circle the leg out, around, and lift it up. Draw as big a circle as you can without destabilizing your torso. We're looking both for smooth, fluid movement with the legs, but also the ability to stabilize the torso against the weight and perhaps the tightness of the leg as you move it. So short inhale with every circle. This is the last one in this direction. And then exhale, nice and long out to the side and drag the leg up at the end of the exhalation. Now reverse, inhale out to the side, hold the left side grounded as the leg moves right. Now exhaling around, you hold the right side down as the leg moves to the left. Reach again. So you're always thinking like there's ballast in your body, like you're getting heavier on one side before the leg moves away from that. And keep reaching further and further out into space. Try to elongate the leg, stretch the muscles, stretch out the space in the joints. And let's continue with one more circle. Come all the way around here. Allow the weight of the leg to fold deep into the socket. And then we can fold the knee in, give it a little hug here. And then let's switch the legs. So the right leg goes down, the left one pulls in. If you're using a band, switch the band onto the left foot now. And then we extend the leg up to the ceiling. Remember, you can always soften the knee to have the leg more vertical. Just look for a good stretch here on the back of your thigh. Point, and now we circle. Inhale across the body first. We always work medially first, and then exhale out, around, and lift. Do that again. Sometimes I know people will feel like a little clunking in their hip as they do this. And if that is your experience, I've had that myself at different points in time, using the TheraBand will help. But really what is involved is that reaching out through the center of the foot as you circle at the same time as pulling the glute down and into the ground. Complete the circle at the top and then reverse. Reaching it out and over, across, and lift. I know that that's really common if that's your experience. A lot of people have that and they can change it over time as they start to loosen up here and keep working for length. Could also be just how your leg is set into the socket. But even in that case, often it feels better if you can find more space, more length. And if not, just keep the movement really small. All right, we come to the top here, fold the knee into your body, hug it in, and we'll roll forward and up for rolling like a ball. So you hold into your thigh or to the shin, the other leg could lift, and then you roll forward and up, use your core, use your breath, come sit near the front third of your mat, easier hands to your thighs, more difficult hands to your shins. In either case, lift your tail, rock back on your sacrum, and there's a definite opposition as you push the hands back into your legs and your legs out into your hands. So you feel the firming up of your arms and your core. Keep looking down at your navel as you inhale, lift the tail, roll to your shoulders. Exhale, come right back up where you started. And you roll smooth as silk down the mat and then up the mat to where you started. We're looking that we work the right and left side equally, which would mean that you roll in a straight line back on the mat and then forward on the mat. Your inhale should take you back about to the shoulder blade tips, and then you start the exhale there to carry you forward and up. Let's go for one last one. And then here, sit back a little bit. So right hand to the ankle, left hand to the right knee. And as you roll back, you can extend the left leg out as a counterweight to bring you down to your upper arm curl, looking right down your midline. Beginning of the ab series, here we go. Inhale to switch the legs once, and then exhale, switch them again. You can pull the leg in tight as long as that's okay for your knee. And then you can stretch the leg long. Try to feel the difference between pulling it in, compressing it, and letting it float out, lengthening it. Maybe when you pull in, you'll get a nice little stretch in the glute or in the low back. Gaze is still fixed down your midline. We end with the left leg in, pull the right leg to meet it, double leg stretch. Again, hands, one hand to each shin, push up with the legs, pull down with the arms, come up deeper into your curve if you've fallen flat. Now you stretch the arms and legs up to the ceiling and out on the diagonal away from each other. Circle the arms wide, pull everything in, embrace. So I like to think of this as a hammock. And then you transform yourself into a ball. And you lengthen again. Again, you can lay your head down. But if you do so, be sure that the legs go higher so you're not straining your back. You get a little more protection when the waist pushes into the ground. And now embrace. We're going into scissors, right leg up, left leg forward, reach high on your ankle, stretch the back of the leg. Inhale, you switch the legs. It's a scissor switch. And then you switch again. Even though we want to look up at our feet, don't do that. Look down the midline at your body, look for your navel. Breathe completely fully, the inhale for one movement, the exhale for the other. Let's do one more set. The toes are softly pointed, just don't overpoint. Then we take the hands behind the head, pull the head up, pull the elbows in and slightly down and forward towards the navel. Legs are lifted to the ceiling, bent knees are not. And then we press the legs away, double leg lower lift. You do want to be cautious. Be careful that you don't go so low that your back arches. As your legs extend out, feel the increasing load, the increasing work in your abdominals. Go where it feels good, right? And then drag the legs up, lifting the feet higher like they're scraping the ceiling above you. Your gaze is still fixed down though. You know where the legs are without looking at them. Try to use your hands to your head, pull the head up, really press the hands into the skull, but also push the head back into your hands. That'll make you feel a little bit more connected to that area under your chest. Now, once we lift, we twist. So we twist to the right, pull the right leg in, the left one out, come up and forward, and then you switch the legs and you spiral to the other side. It's an upper ab curl with rotation. Try to lift one shoulder completely off of the mat if you can. And try to stay centered around your own axis here. Like that line from your nose to your sternum to your navel should still be there even when you're twisting. Opposite hip stays heavy. Anchor yourself down through your hips. And to the left, come back to center, lay it down, pull the knees in first, just give your back a little stretch, slide the legs forward, extend the arms back and stretch out your abs. They're probably happy for that. Taking the arms all the way back, you might also feel the stretch in your armpit and into your lat, which is the lower muscle here at the back of the armpit, goes all the way down towards your sacrum. And from here, we can lift the arms. We're coming up to sitting for spine stretch. So rolling up, find the lift, and then you sit upright. We'll open the legs a little wider than your hips and extend the arms forward, sit vertically. Press down with the arms and grow up at the chest and up through your halo. Then you look down, exhale, go all the way out, over and down with head leading the spine in a beautiful arc, a beautiful curve. Suck the belly back as you round down here to stretch your spine where it tends to be tight. It's also great to feel that length in the back of your legs. And then we're going to press through the mat with the legs and then articulate up. It's like you're zipping your back up an imaginary wall. And then we look down again and dive forward and over. Head moves the neck, then the upper back, then the mid back. So peel off that imaginary wall behind you. And then you can press your legs and lift. It's actually really nice when you get to the point that we can work in a class together again. It's great to do this with a partner back to back, so you really feel the movement away of the spine and then the movement together of the spines. Just builds awareness with that tactile cueing. Something to look forward to. Hopefully not too long, right? And then let's go over one more time. Pull the waist back, press the head down, let it reach forward and down long. Hold onto your legs here, just enjoy the stretch. Maybe reach out through your heels a little bit more to increase the stretch in your calf. Suck the belly back into whatever part of your spine feels tight. And now we're moving into open leg balance. So let's scoot forward a bit to your heels. And you can, again, hold onto your thighs a little easier, or take your hands to the inside of your legs, hold onto the ankles, rock back on your sacrum to pick up your feet. And here, extend the right leg up, the right shoulder stays easy and relaxed. And then exhale, pull the leg down, connect your heels together. And now the left leg extends. It reaches up, that's good, very nice. And then exhale, pull it down. Right leg again. Keeping your eyes fixed on the navel will keep your body steady here. And then the left. Remember, if you can't extend the leg completely, don't force it. Just go where you're getting a good stretch and it feels healthy for your body. One more, right leg up. And exhale and pull it down. And now the left. This will help you get more stretch in the back line of your body, but it takes time, right? And now both legs at the same time, simultaneous, they both lift. Now this V is a little narrow, the ankle sort of in line with your shoulders, and then pull it on back. And reach up again, stretch here. And then pull the heels in, the knees fold. You pull your heels towards your tail. Let's do one more like that, extending it up and leave it there. Hold on to the back of your calves, basically. My thumbs are across the lower part of my shins. You can slide the hands closer in towards your knee. And now we roll. So you lift the tail, you roll back to your shoulder blades only, the head never touches. Exhaling, coming up to your balance point. And then keep looking down. If your head rises, it'll make your body flatter and rolling will be more difficult, right? It'll be more like a plank and less like a ball. If you do find that there's a part of your body that slams into the mat, it may just be a place that's really tight because of your structure or because of a tightness that you've acquired, throughout the day. You can always put a towel and place it underneath the part of your back that feels like it doesn't connect to the ground. That's usually where the lumbar curve is. So if that isn't connecting to the ground, use a little towel and start to press into it, and that will help you gradually build some more stretch there. Let's go for one more. Rolling to your shoulders only, never the head, coming up to your balance. Close the legs, bend your knees, and we roll this torso back. So you sit upright first. Always good to practice your best posture here, perched right on your sits bones. Gaze at the horizon, and then you can look down. Curve the tail up around the spine, sink the belly into that spinal curve, and you can go back, maybe the hands off the legs or onto them if you want a little more support. Go all the way down here for corkscrew. We're going to lay down on your back, and now fold the knees into your chest. If you want to use a TheraBand for support, that's a great variation. And in either case, we lift the legs up to the ceiling. And we draw a small circle here in the air. So you inhale and take the legs over to the right. Exhale, forward and around. Coming around to the left and lift the legs. So these circles are small enough that you can keep your pelvis heavy on the floor, heavy on your mat. You'll feel a little bit of a weight shift, and that's great. I'd like you to be able to sort of trace that weight shift around your sacrum here, and then reverse the weight shift and go around the sacrum in the opposite direction. But there's not a big rotation through the hips, right? We're trying to basically look like we're still flat on the ground. Even though you feel that difference, you'll feel your obliques kick in and work at different points in the circle. Let's do one more from the left to the right. Keep energy up through your feet, whether your knees are bent or straight. And then we're rolling forward and up for saw. So you can fold the legs in or leave them straight up. Rock forward and open the legs. Extend the arms out. Here the legs are a little wider than your hips. The hands should be slightly in front of your collarbones. Because for most of us, if we bring the arms back really like parallel to the sideline, our back starts to arch. So find where you can keep a neutral spine, rotate to the right. The back palm lifts up and stretches diagonally across the room, and you slide forward, you reach, you stretch. I know in some schools of Pilates, they actually literally saw the leg, like they're trying to lower lift the body. I was taught not to, but the different modifications for different people for different times. And now we lift to come up, center here, and then spin to the left, going over, reaching here. Do press the outside of the hand into the outside of the leg or foot, wherever you can reach, and keep equal weight into both glutes. So you may have to put a little more weight into the side you're leaning away from. Lift up, center here, and we twist, rotate, and dive. Reach out through your head, reach back through the palm behind you. Try to keep that wrist straight and the fingertips long. Coming upright, stack without coming back to center, and then unwind, and then spin to your left, dive over again. So as you go to the left, put more weight in the right leg and glute here. Stretch long, reach out, pull yourself in two by reaching the arms in opposite directions. Lift to come up. We'll do one more set. Spin through center, gaze on the horizon. That's your tallest point. And then we dive over, lengthen out. You still lift your belly into the curve of your back. Try to rotate the upper body too. Move your right shoulder back towards the spine. And lift to come up, unwind. One more time, spiral here, diving over. And as you dive to the left, pull that left shoulder up and back a little bit. Try to reach your gaze around in a semicircle behind you. Lift to come up, center here, and then lower the arms. Close the legs, and we come over onto your stomach for a swan. So one of the last couple of sessions, I don't remember which one, we practiced doing the standing swan. But I want you to remember from doing that one of the most important things to protect your back is that feeling of pulling forward and then lifting up. So actually just start with that. Let's go onto your forearms here. Press down into your arms, pull back into your arms, and see if you can pull your chest forward and feel that stretch in the abdominal wall. So the muscles literally are lengthening. The skin even gets a little bit of a stretch, and then you can lift up, pull your chest wide, and pull your shoulder blades together and down. See if that gives you a feeling of a nice curve in your upper back without just like collapsing and then pushing yourself up with your arms. We want to try to get that feeling of wrapping around the front of an old sailing ship. Pretend you are the carved figure at the front of the boat, and lift your chest up and expand it. And then just bring that down again, just a fraction. So that's the feeling of swan. Let's go for the full exercise. So forehead floating off the ground, hands back by the armpit. And again, you're going to push down with your heel of your head into the mat. Push the mat towards your feet. Come forward and up. You'll lift a little higher with the pressure from your hands. And then bring it on down. Lower the body down. Your gaze stays up until the very end. Look at the mat, but slightly forward of your nose. And then pull back with the heel of the hand, elbows pulled together. You lift up. You can even lift a little bit here off your thighs. And then down you go again. The key is to do this curve in the upper back and not really into the low back where it wants to curve for you. Trying to stretch the front line and get a more uniform curve through the spine. From here, prop yourself back up on your elbows, push down. We don't want to collapse into the arms. We don't want to like drop down, but you're pushing the arms down to pull your chest and widen it forward. Look up and we kick the right heel in first. Pulse 1, 2, and down at the left. Pulse 1, 2, and down. You may feel that stretch in your quad. That's great. Keep your pelvis pressing into the floor here. To stabilize your body against the movement of your legs. We're trying not to rock back and forth here on the mat, even though the work is active with the leg. Double beat each time. It's just a pulse and a slightly different pulse. When we're set, we end with the pulse to the left. Lower the leg, lay yourself down. Left cheek on the mat, turn your head to the right. The arms will overlap high on the back, as high as you can reach, and then drop your elbows down to the floor. That separates your scapula, your shoulder blades, and let your back rest easy. Take a deep breath in to lengthen. As you exhale, 3 beats with both legs. Pulse 1, 2, 3. Push the feet into the mat. Turn your head center. Bring the arms back. You can try to reach the fingers to each other. Reach back and low with the arms to lift up with the chest. Come down, turn your head to the left. Elbows fall again. Pulsing 1, 2, 3. Push the feet into the ground. Reach up, reach back. And then down you go to turn right. Pulse the air out of your lungs again. Pulsing 1, 2, 3 times. Feet are down. Arms are low. If you can't reach your thumbs together, just turn your palms in and try to squeeze an imaginary ball behind you. Come down, turn your head left. And last time, let's pulse the air out of your lungs with those 3 beats. Push the feet into the ground, reach back, lift, and down we go again. Now you can take your hands to your side of your chest, push up and sit back in child's pose, only if that is okay for your knees. If it isn't, you can always lay on your back and pull the knees into your chest. Lower your head, curl your tail under, stretch out your spine, stretch out your lats by the reach forward of your arms. Other options, of course, include taking the arms along at your side and just like relaxing the shoulders here. Then we stack the spine from the bottom to the top. Sit up, neck pull. This is one of the harder of the intermediate mat exercises. It's quite challenging, and you have to be very careful about protecting your spine in this exercise. We start with the hands up by the head. If roll up is hard for you, you can just do a regular roll up. If you don't like this exercise, it's also helpful to take ankle weights here on the ankles. In a Pilates studio, you would have mats with straps to hold your feet down. And that's going to be particularly more difficult for the guys in the class. So let's lift up, head rises. You use your heel of your hand to pull the occipital ridge up and drop your shoulders to lengthen your neck. Then you lean back in a plank. Now options, as you go down, you're going to curl, well, you have to, everyone has to do this. Look down, curl your tail up to round your back down. Here's the option. You can pull the elbows forward. You can even extend the arms forward so that you lower yourself down with perfect control for your spine. That perfect articulation down and up is more important than the arm position. The arm position will advance as your core advances. And now to come up, you could, particularly if you have weights or a strap at your feet, you could keep the elbows sort of wide. Easier to come up, you're going to press your fist into your hands, make it a straight line from elbow to elbow. Lift your head up, exhale, squeeze into the arms, and you curve your body forward. Bring your hands behind your head, pull the skull long and out here, elongating the neck, not pushing it down. Try to feel that stretch of whatever part of your back is tight, and then we flow up, bottom to top, like spine stretch that we did earlier. Okay, this you could also just do a variation with the TheraBand here, right? So now we lift up, and you lean back. You tuck and go down. Move the arms as you need to so that you can slow your work down into the ground and then lay your head down at the end. Coming up, inhaling, you can change the fist into the hand and lift to come up. Push here, squeeze, lift, dive over. Rounding here, stretch out your spine, lengthen your head forward, take a deep bow. Articulating up, come all the way upright. And let's do that again. So lean back. Now this part's a little tricky. Imagine someone like punched you in the stomach, your sits bones and your tail move forward, and then you bring it down, roll it down slowly, work your way into the ground, come all the way down here, and then let's lift one more time. Fist into hand, lift up, pull yourself forward. You could also use hand weights. That would give you a little bit more ability to lift easier. Dive forward here, take the bow. This is RJ. And then you come all the way up, stacking, lifting the body up here. And last time down to the ground. So you lean it back. You can pull the elbows forward. You can extend the arms forward. In any case, you want to lengthen through your heels. Try to roll your spine down. Equally working right and left side. So if you notice that one side is working harder, ask yourself to work the other side harder. Surprisingly, often that will do the trick. All right, great. So now from here, we're laying on the back for bridge. If your hamstrings tend to cramp on this, it's a great idea to take a ball or a yoga block between your thighs and squeeze it in. Or you could use a folded up towel, rolled up towel, or a cushion. Now, we're standing into the feet, the arms reach long at the side. Begin with a pelvic tuck. So you think you curve the tail up the wall in front of you like a paintbrush painting it. Your waist goes down, then you stand in your feet, you pull the knees forward, you pull the tail forward, you come up into a plank. That's sort of a beginner intermediate position. For more advanced, we want to lift the glutes higher and push down into the shoulders, the top of the shoulders and the outer arm. So the chest rises here into a little thoracic extension. And then you can find a little more boost up through your glute. And then we're rolling slightly to the inner arm. Feel the scapula move sideways so that you can drape the upper back down between your shoulder blades and curl your spine into the ground, taking it down 1 inch, 1 vertebra at a time. At the end, the tail settles and your waist floats up. And let's do that again. So curve the tail forward and up, round your back, press the floor away with your arms and your feet. Your gaze should be up to the ceiling, not turned to the side. We're going to lift up into that higher position, as much glute as possible to open your hips. Really press down through the upper outer shoulder in order to lift the chest and expand the collarbones here. And then we're rolling to the inner arm, widen the upper back so you can flex the spine. If you narrow it, you're in extension, and then it's going to be very difficult to feel the articulation in sequence going down all the way to your tail. When you release that, your abdominal wall lengthens and your back has a little arch. Do that once more. So we rock the tail up into a pelvic tuck, and then we push off the ground. We lift to come up. We go forward with the knees. Now, as you go up, you want to still feel the weight across the top of your shoulders. Your weight is on your head, but not on your neck. Lift up here, giving yourself more support from underneath, strengthening the back line of your body. And now we widen the back of the body to come down and flex the spine. And slowly, slowly roll out 1 vertebra after the next until the sacrum is down, until the tail is down, and you're in a neutral pelvis position with the hip bone crest and the pubic bone parallel at the same height. All right, lovely. So from here, let's come up to sitting for spine twist. So you can take one leg in, look forward and up. Extend the legs forward, feet flexed. And again, all these sitting exercises, if the back line of your body is tight, elevate your hips so you have more mobility. It's a shame to be locked down by tight hamstrings, right? So if you're like this, right, when you're trying to sit upright, elevate your hips or bend your knees more. Try to come up so you're right on top of your sits bones and you feel a little arch in your low back. And from here, let's start today with the hands on top of the head. This is non-traditional, but a good way to really put the work right into your abs. So you're going to push your head up into your hands. You're going to lightly press down with your hands into your head, elbows slightly forward, and rotate from your waist. Twisting to your right and pulse 1, 2, 3. Lift to center and then to the left. Ring it out from center. 1, 2, 3. Good. Gaze to the horizon at center. As you come around, your gaze might lower a little bit. Try not to drop your chin, but come back to center, rising, and then to the left. If you let your gaze go around and down in a curve, it releases the suboccipitals at the base of your skull, and you'll feel a little bit more rotation through your neck and less strain in the body. We're going to come up here. Now the feet should be flexed and ideally not sliding one past the other. Keep them in the same plane like they're up against a wall. From center, take the arms out to the side. Bring your hands a little forward of your chest. And now let's rotate again. Can you get the same work in your abs? So you're twisting from the middle of your body and not twisting from the movement of your arms through the air. So the arms move because the torso is moving, not the other way around. Let's work from your center to the right again. Center here, growing taller, and then to the left. Meanwhile, your psoas muscle, your main hip flexor is working to just keep the body vertical. That's good. All right, now arms at your side. We're gonna lay it down for jackknife. So for the jackknife, which is like a shoulder stand in yoga, right? You can always elevate your hips, which makes it easier. So if you have a roller or a yoga block, you could lay down and place your sacrum on top of one of those. If you have the roller, you'd hold onto it with your hands. That would give you an elevation for your body, so it'd be easier to do. The other option sometimes from a home studio, right, is you could reach back and hold on to the bottom of your sofa or 2 chair legs. If it's a really big club chair, like if it's a kitchen chair, I don't think I'd recommend it because the chair could get pulled down as you pull into it. But those are options if you're still learning this exercise to assist you. And when I first learned, I was holding on to like these poles at the Pilates studio, but I also had my hips elevated to start to learn to lift up. So over time it changes, but so you go ahead and use those ideas if that would help you. So meanwhile, if you normally do this from the ground, just fold the knees into your chest, lift the legs up to the ceiling. You can press through your arms, take the legs a little forward from vertical, away from your face to give you a bit of a running start, right? We want that advantage. And then you're bringing the legs up and over, try to bring the legs low to the ground, not touching the floor, but more parallel to the floor here. At this intermediate level, what usually happens is we start here, and then you roll your spine down from that position. You'll feel you get a big stretch in the back line of your body. That's good. You try to resist collapsing to the floor. You go down with control, then you take the legs out to your working level. I'm going to move a little bit out away from my equipment here, because then as you start to advance the exercise from here, your legs go up again, the legs move forward. You go over again with the legs more parallel to the ground. From that point, you lift the legs up and then down again. So it's like flicking open a Swiss Army knife. And then you're going to bring this body down with the legs lower. Control the weight of the legs forward until you feel that working level. You're going to feel your low abs engaged. Now, as you continue to advance, you go over and the legs go up higher. So all of these are just different options, right? So as you come up then, instead of going low with the legs, you would bring them higher initially. And then on the way down, you come down, you keep the legs more open at the hips. It's more load from your center. You just have to be careful that you choose the right variation so that your belly can support the load that you're putting on your back, right? But all of these are great. Inversions are just great for the cardiovascular system, for your energy. We're going to go up and over, and you can start low, flick the legs up using your glutes and your hamstring muscles to do that lift. And then you're going to bring the legs down again and roll out. And that's like the true intermediate version. But of course, all bodies are different. It could be, we could be working at a mixed level class here. And, certain people, even though everyone might be at a certain level overall, everyone does exercises a little differently depending on their body's own strengths and weaknesses, right? So now we're going onto the side to do some of the side kick series. So you're going to prop yourself up on your elbow. And you should be a straight line here from your head to your shoulders to your tailbone. The legs move forward at maybe a 30-degree angle from your spine. Feet are flexed and the top leg reaches long. You also pull in with your bottom elbow towards your armpit to engage that underneath part of your sideline. You can press your top hand into the ground in front of your chest. Lift the top leg, flexing the foot. Inhale. We swing the leg forward, pulse 1, 2. Point the foot, take the leg back, pulse 1, 2. The goal here, keep your torso steady on the ground, even though you're only balanced on your side seam. Makes it much more difficult than moving the leg when you're balanced on your back. Less support, more challenge. Flex again, double beat here. Reach out through the tail and the sits bone. Point, take it back. The longer you make your torso, the more stable you'll find yourself being. Come back to center and bring the leg down. Now we're going to lift the leg and rotate internally and externally. Spiral it in, spiral it up, so it just spins around its own axis. So the knee and the toe go down, then the knee and the toe go up. You'll feel that work in your glute and in this glute medius a little lower on the upper outer thigh. Now rotate the leg externally, lower the foot down, point the foot to kick the leg up, flex the foot to pull heel to heel. Gaze is forward, don't look at your feet. You can look at it once for each exercise, but then try to keep the neck and the head in line with the rest of your spine. Now reverse. Keep the foot flexed, rise, point the foot and stretch it out and long. Flex to lift and point to stretch it away. One more. Reach out through the heel, get the stretch on the calf, point and lengthen down. Développé. Bend the knees, slide the knee up, pull the foot in, knee to chest, lift the foot, flex, and bring it down. So we glide it in. You actually have a connection from your foot to the leg. Pick the knee up, extend the foot high, flex, and reach down. Let's do one more. Watch that you're not falling backwards. It's really common to drop back here with the top hip falling to the ground to get more lift. Now let's reverse, go up with a flexed foot, point the foot, bend the knee, slide the foot down the bottom leg, you skate it out, you end with a flex and you lift, point, bend, exhale, pull the belly tight as you push the leg away, pull the head in the opposite direction for length, one more, lift, point, bend, and exhale all the way down. We're gonna go just up for small circles, circling 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8, reversing 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8, reach out and lower the leg down. Last one we're doing today in the series, there are others, but this will be sufficient. So we're gonna bring the leg forward, rond de jambe, circle up, high, back and around, stretch behind you, open the hip, and then bring the leg forward. Remember your goal, you're not letting your body lean back as the leg goes forward, and you're definitely not letting the torso lean forward as the leg goes back. Hold your body steady against the weight of that leg. One more in this direction. Circle around, draw a beautiful circle in the air with your foot of any size, whatever works for you. Now reverse. Take the leg back, open the hip. Use your glute, lift the leg up, push, really helps to push your hand into the ground when you start to feel like you're losing your stability here. And reach back, circle around, the leg rotates on the socket for the best fit anatomically in the joint. You press the bottom leg into the ground. That also helps you stabilize. Complete that circle. That's great. Onto your stomach for grasshopper. You lay on your belly, overlap your hands, forehead rest on the hands, and we lift the legs and turn out from the glutes, clap the thighs apart and together to clap the heels apart and together. You'll feel that work in the back of your legs. Try to drop your pelvis heavy into the ground so that your low back stays lengthened against that weight and length of your legs there. And then we lower the legs down, child's pose. Come up, round your back. Head sinks down, tail curls under. Stack the spine coming up. And let's turn around to do the other side. If it doesn't suit your neck to be propped up, you can always lay your head down on your arm or on a towel there. Remember, legs at about 30 to 40 degrees maybe away from the length of your spine. Stick your tail out a little bit, and we can press the hand into the mat in front of your chest. Pick up your top leg, flexing the foot. Inhale, you glide it forward and back. Pulse forward twice. Point, take it back. Pulse 1, 2. Flex to go forward. Push into your hand to keep your stability here with your body resting on your side. It's pretty common also. Sometimes you'll find that one side it's easier to stay balanced on than the other. You know, we work our bodies differently right and left, just like we work our hands differently right and left. So come back to center now, and we're going to pick up the leg and rotate internally and externally, spiral the leg here from the hip socket, which is down here in the crease between leg and pelvis. Right, so you're not spinning the pelvis back to move the leg in this way. You're actually rotating the femur on the joint. And with the external rotation, lower heel to heel, point the foot and we kick the leg up, flex the foot and you bring it down. Point to lift, flex to close, gaze straight ahead. Now reverse the foot, flex up, point and stretch it down, flex and lift, point and reach it away. Flexing up and point down, and one more of those. Stretch the leg long, développé. We bend the knee, we slide the knee up, we pull the foot in, knee to shoulder, foot to sky, flex and reach it down. Drag it in again, extend it, flex and press it away. One more. And down it goes, reverse, kick up, point the foot, bend the knee, skate it down the other leg. You iron that out like you're using your foot as a steam iron. Point, bend, exhale, press it to the end, lengthen through the heel, lift, point, bend, and exhale, glide it all the way forward. Lift the leg up here for your small circles. Circling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reversing 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lower the leg down, flex the feet. The top foot actually can be in a soft point, and then we bring it forward for rond de jambe, big circles forward. Lift, circle way back, get longer through your waist, longer through your head and neck, longer through your leg. Start with a short inhale and make a long exhale to pull your abdominal wall together, holding you connected here on the side of your mat. And then reach and lengthen out, back and around. Complete the circle reverse. Take it back, lift, rotate the leg, bring it around through and center again. Open your hip, spiral the leg up, forward, around, and through center, and one more. And then bring it down, close it. Good. Come up to sitting now. And we're going to go into that teaser prep we've been practicing. So here you start sitting, you're rocked back a little bit on your sacrum. So you're behind your sits bones. Pull the knees into your chest. And then pull your elbows wide so you can pick up the legs. Now for women, the toes will be right about at eye level. For guys, the feet and the knees a little lower. Just has to do with proportional weight through your pelvis and your ribs. And then you find your balance point here. You curve the tail up as you look down, start to roll your spine down, and you push the legs away from you. Get your spine down, stretch the legs out, and then lift to come up. You can do a partial movement or you can go all the way down, right? So maybe it's good for you just to go down like an inch or so and move the knees forward an inch and then pull it in. As long as you feel that you're strengthening your core while you're protecting your back, the spine drapes into the ground and then the legs act as a counterweight to help you strengthen your abs. You can eventually go all the way down. Your heels will touch when your shoulders and then your head go down. And then on the way up, lift the head, look at your midline, scoop the legs up. You can fold the knees in or keep them straight eventually. Your hands to your legs are helpful when you first work this exercise. Eventually, the arms are out, the legs are extended, you roll your spine down, you go down with control and then to the ground, and then you lift your head, you scoop the arms along the side to pull up. So it's important, just pick the modification that works best for your body today, at this moment, at this time. And that is our session for today. All right, I hope you all felt great. Please stay and ask me any questions. If you have any concerns, if you have any comments, I'm here to help you. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you next week. Take care. All right.
Thanks, Cathy.
Oh, it's so good to have you back in class. You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm mostly feeling good. I have like this one area like through here still that my arthritis in my shoulder is like so much better. I've been going to physical therapy, But this area through here is still really tight, and I don't know exactly why. I keep doing a lot of stretching and it just still feels like there's a lot of tightness through here.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it's your lat.
Yeah, I think it might be my lat. It seems like it's all the way through my tricep and my lat,
Right,
all
it's
through
the same
here.
line, right? Yeah, so anything that would stretch that, like bringing the arm up, and even if you had something you could hang from, would feel probably pretty good.
Mhm.
No.
I don't really have anything. I do actually in the gym, I can hang it from the.
I mean, because what's really nice if you're in the gym is to hang from like a bar and do rotation here
Okay.
is great for the lat. Now, the other thing that will work is just like lifting the arm up and then reach for the scapula, or let me mirror you, right? So if you reach the arm up, you can feel the scapula lift, pull it down, and lift, and then pull it down. So the arm stays straight. You don't have to bend the elbow, but you're moving the shoulder blade up and down your back. And that is a lat stretch. And then you can actually do that, like once you figured out that movement here on both sides, and use a roller to stretch it out. So like if you take a roller in front of you and you're back in child's pose, you can go, as long as your knees are okay, right? You can bend forward, lay your head down, and then push the roller away by pulling the shoulders up by the ears and then pulling the shoulders down your back. So as they rise by your ears, your collarbones smile up, and then you widen the collarbones and the blades come down.
That feels good.